The average home price in our area, while it's still rising, has cooled a little bit. The average days a house will be on the market before selling has topped out at just under 90 days. These numbers can be seen as negatives, but if you want to compare us to other cities in Texas and across the state, they're in fact they're excellent given the climate that we have. There are probably several cities we could name just sitting around here that would probably be happy to trade places with San Angelo with those rates. So although it's not obviously as aggressive a growth period as we've had in previous years, we're doing much better than other areas of the country. Apartment occupancy rates have also remained steady throughout the decade. This chart here demonstrates the apartment occupancy rate since 2004. Since the beginning of 2008, we've seen nearly 1,000 beds added in a pair of off-campus student-oriented apartment complexes near the ASU campus. We're looking forward to see how these additions, as well as other on-campus projects that are planned at ASU, affect our occupancy rates in the coming years. We look at the city, we look at the increase in student-oriented housing as a positive for San Angelo. It signifies a growing university community, invigorates the commercial areas around it. And these more top-flight housing, the more new top-flight housing there is to serve students' needs, the more likely they will stay all 4 years at ASU. And this in turn increases the likelihood that these students will stay and become a part of San Angelo's workforce in the future. You know, one fact that is not expanded on very often is how important a part of our economy ASU is in San Angelo, the big driver that it is with the students. And the housing is, of course, a crucial part of Dr. Rallo's plans as far as growing the university and continuing that trend. And its impact on development remains to be seen. And despite the struggling economy, which has affected our city revenues, sales tax receipts have started to decline over the last few months. We were still able on the city council to continue with our council's goal of reducing the tax rate for a 5th consecutive year. Just a penny, not much, but while many cities in Texas, and particularly those around us in Abilene and other areas, have been forced to lay off employees, raise taxes to make ends meet, San Angelo has had to do neither. These lower rates do not necessarily translate into lower taxes, as we all know. With rising valuations, taxes continue to increase because of increases in the property appraisals. But I think it is important to remember that part of what we're doing on the council is not necessarily that it's going to return taxes. We're continuing to try to live with the approach of a city cannot always continually grow and grow and grow just by raising new taxes. And part of that effect is to try to get ourselves into an environment in which we expect to try incrementally to reduce the amount of revenue that we're taking from the citizens. And that's the council's objective, and to force the city council and the city staff to be as efficient in operating the city government as possible. And I think that is something that is laudable, and I think that's something that the taxpayers deserve. Lower tax rates, of course, in time also, we believe, help spur commercial development. In turn, increased development, which we have seen since the beginning of the decade, allows the city the flexibility to return at least some of that money to the taxpayers. And of course, we are not planning to change that policy anytime soon. The City Council has set a goal to continue to do that over the next 5 years, and I'm hopeful that with new council members and a new mayor, we will continue that trend. Although the picture has been somewhat gloomy, the commercial report this year in San Angelo is heartening. Retail occupancy rates soared in 2009, perhaps as an indication that as building has slowed, businesses are filling in the gaps left by quick-paced construction. Our office occupancy rates have also jumped about 10% over previous levels. I'm not really sure why, except this may be an indication that the slowing construction is allowing occupancy to catch up. Rates for Class A or fully serviced rental space are very good, 97% occupancy compared to 84% for the more basic Class B space. In addition to the private sector projects, the staff of the Development Services Department has been hard at work, as you all know, on a number of projects over this last year. Planning Division has doled out more than $115,000 in micro grants for facade renovations to downtown buildings since 2007. Working with the Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone Board, a matching grant program was created for businesses in North Angelo, resulting in 11 new renovation projects. These projects have resulted in almost $200,000 in private sector revitalization projects. Family Support Division made 53 emergency repairs, completed 4 homeowner rehabs, and constructed one new home, which was the first in the nation platinum certified LEED home funded by HUD. They also distributed $23,277 in utility bill assistance. Code compliance has developed first ever standard operating procedures that have cleaned up neighborhood and resulted in over 8,000, and that's not a typo, 8,000 new code cases with a 65% compliance rate through only a courtesy letter to citizens. And I want to applaud the code compliance officers for their hard work and diligent effort in that regard. Fire prevention continues to motivate property owners to keep older vacant homes maintained through our dangerous buildings program. And since 2007, 220 homes have been secured or renovated or removed, and 189 homes have been demolished. On a side note, I guess staff will always worry when you kind of, go off the script here, but I'm going to try it anyway. The one thing that has been occurring with our fire department as well, although they're not really part of development services, is the efforts with city staff and the fire department that has improved our ISO rating. And we also have additional plans to continue to work on that. And it has the benefit of reducing fire insurance premiums for homeowners and commercial owners in the city of San Angelo. And so I think that's another positive sign that we have that city staff has been working diligently on. Engineering Services has overseen $7.1 million of street reconstruction, seal codes, sidewalk, traffic signal, and airport improvement projects this year. And of course, most recently, at the last City Council meeting this month, we finally approved a series of downtown incentives that was presented by Development Services staff to formalize for the very first time what the city is prepared to offer developers who want to adapt downtown buildings for reuse. A handout outlining these incentives is available at the welcome table and the planning table. And we will continue to be moving forward next week in discussing as City Council, taking a look at our code issues and anything else that we can modify to assist developers in redeveloping our downtown areas. We're grateful for the partnership that we have with each of you, with the city. We hope you'll continue to partner with us together as we work to create a better community. To do this, we must continue to focus on goals that will help us ensure a safe, attractive, and well-planned community. A community that, regardless of income levels, cultivates healthy and revitalized neighborhoods and commercial areas. This is the goal of our Development Services Department and our city as a whole. We want to thank you for all your participation at tonight's event and for all you do for San Angelo. And we hope to continue our partnership with all of you for many years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Hogg. I also want to, he did ask us for some of those occupancy rates that were mentioned, and I do want to give credit where credit is due. City staff doesn't maintain those, but Stribling Provand, and I notice Bob Stribling is here tonight, does that, and so we want to thank you, Bob, for all of your help. At this time, we want to go ahead and kind of the last half of our program here, go ahead and start giving out and announcing our nominees and the award winners for this year's San Angelo Development Awards. Again, this is the third year that we've done these awards as well. We continue adding a category here or there, and I think this year we have 2 new categories, and so we're excited to present all of these to you. Several different staff members who are involved with these projects will be introducing those, and we again want to go ahead and just congratulate everyone who's been nominated. I know a number of you are here because you have been nominated, and so at this point I want to turn this over to Al Torres, our building official.